Good evening and welcome to yet another edition of Visual Radio here on Yes 101. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Hashni Patirana.
And I'm Joad Abdeen.
Let's take a look at your headlines first.
Newsfirst headline.
SLT Lanka hospitals share transfer on hold. President comments on upcoming regional powers in the Indian Ocean region. Sri Lanka defends sovereignty at UNHRC, criticizes evidence-gathering mechanism. Dozens die after bus falls off bridge in Mali. Shreyas Iyer to play Ranji semis, Ishan Krishan returns to action.
And now bringing you your news in detail. In local news, in a statement delivered at the UN Human Rights Council session, Sri Lanka Foreign Minister Ali Sabri raised concerns regarding the increase in politicization and the divisiveness within the council. Now, Sabri emphasized the importance of the council reclaiming its original mandate by prioritizing depoliticization and embracing constructive dialogue and multilateral cooperation. Now, Sri Lankan Foreign Minister Ali Sabri reiterated his country's dedication to economic recovery, national unity and reconciliation efforts, acknowledging the ongoing socio-economic challenges faced by the people of Sri Lanka. Now, Sabri also emphasized the government's commitment to protecting vulnerable segments of society through targeted social protection measures and subsidies. Now here's what Foreign Minister Ali Sabri had to say.
As the international community is aware, over the past year, while economic recovery was a foremost priority to Sri Lanka, the government continued to take tangible steps in the interest of national unity and reconciliation as key priorities. We are acutely aware of the challenges that lie ahead and the socio-economic hardship that the people continue to face. Sri Lanka remains committed to protecting vulnerable segments of the society, including through targeted social protection measures and subsidies. I take this opportunity to reaffirm Sri Lanka's commitment to engaging in constructive human rights processes while rejecting politicized and unilateral measures that infringe upon the sovereignty of member states. Sri Lanka reiterates its categorical rejection of the extensive external evidence-gathering mechanism established following the Resolution 46/1 and 51/1, which will have a wide-ranging legal and political implication for all countries, contradicting the founding principles of the Council. This ever-expanding mechanism will be unproductive and unhelpful drain on the resources of the Council and its members. I urge the members of this Council not to allow short-term political gains or, as it's now been termed, as domestic vote bank politics to overtake the important work of this Council. The Council is already traversing the same path as its predecessor, the Commission on Human Rights, with disproportionate scrutiny and focus on countries of the Global South, with a host of selective country-specific resolutions and intrusive mechanisms.
And in more local news, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, speaking at the Indian Ocean Security Conference today, commented on the upcoming regional powers in the Indian Ocean region.
The Ukraine war, the sanctions imposed by the West did not result in the collapse of the Russian economy. It just shifted its way. If you look at the amount of oil that is being refined in the Gulf refineries, it is far more than what is found in the Middle East. With the Russian and the Iranian oil, no one knows, we don't know what we are buying. But whole of the Russian economy shifted here. So Russia has not collapsed, but the Russian economy instead of looking westward, has come eastwards. Secondly, Iran and Saudi Arabia has made up part due to the Chinese intervention. Third one is India. India itself become one of the largest economies, and Indian market will keep expanding till late 21st century. So look at the potential for India, which everyone has recognized. And next is Indonesia. And finally, South Africa. So you can see how the new power balancers have come.
bringing you more news from home. The Court of Appeal issued an interim order suspending further steps related to the transfer of shares in Sri Lanka Telecom and Lanka hospitals until the 12th of March 2024. Now, this decision came after the court considered two writ petitions. Now, one petition was submitted by Lanka Mobile SARL and Petigo Commercio International regarding Sri Lanka Telecom. The other was submitted by Lanka Leasing Holding Limited and another entity regarding Lanka Hospitals PLC. Now, the applications were called up in the presence of Appeal of Court Judge D.N. Samarakun. Now, after taking into account the submissions, the court decided to issue notice instructing Finance Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, State Minister for Finance Shehan Semasinghe, members of the Cabinet Subcommittee for the Restructuring of Public Enterprises and the Attorney General named as respondents in the petition to present their arguments on the 12th of March. And I believe, Hashini, you've got some news overseas for us. We'll move to that in a little while.
International news.
Israel, thank you. And in your international news, 31 people have died after a bus flipped over and plunged off a bridge in Mali. Now, the bus had been en route to neighboring Burkina Faso from the Malian town of Kaniba when it veered off a bridge crossing the Bego River. At least 10 others were injured, some suffering serious injuries.
Sports news.
And now moving on to sports news. Now, Shreyas Iyer will feature in the Ranji Trophy semi-final for Mumbai after recovering from his injury that had ruled him out of the quarter-final at home against Baroda. Now, meanwhile, Ishan Kishan has also returned to competitive cricket, turning up for the Reserve Bank of India in the D.Y. Patil T20 tournament, a popular corporate tournament featuring top domestic players in Navi Mumbai. Now, Shivan Dube will continue to sit out because of a side strain as he races against time to be fit for the IPL, where he will play for Chennai Super Kings. So it's a bit of mix of good news and also a bit of doubts on Shivan Dube in terms of sports. We've had some very interesting news overall. We've had a fatal accident in Mali, bringing us that news internationally as well, and then in local news.
Yeah, in our local news, we had some of the current affairs, as well as we had some Indian Ocean Security Conference comments by the President. So, and that brings us to the end of this session, this edition of Visual Radio on Yes 101. Thank you so much for listening. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Hashni Patirana.
And I'm Jad Abdin.